careful what you say because cats in chat.
Meow, meow. Cat is back. Cat got an assignment from the man upstairs to go over draft day disappointments now that we are at the halfway mark of the fantasy season. So I decided to pick a few players where highly touted at the beginning of the season around draft time and just do a comparison of what were their projections going into the season, ranking projections, and where are they now at the halfway mark. This is not a buy low show. It is more of a gut check on some of these players and see if it's obviously their disappointment, right, from when we drafted them. But it's also up for discussion whether they're drops or not, or not really buy lows. This is not a buy low show, but it's more of like sussing out the numbers and then making decisions depending on your particular situation on whether this player can turn things around, if you believe they can turn it around, or if it's time to cut bait, right? So the source of these statistics and these rankings are from Basketball Monster. The first player that I will put forward is Miles Turner. New team going from Tyrese Halliburton, Rick Carlisle system of the Pacers to Doc Rivers, Giannis, Milwaukee Bucks. Everyone had high hopes for Miles when we went into the draft and on Basketball Monster. And these are all 9 category per game ranks and statistics. He had a pre-draft rank of 30. So probably one of the first centers that went off your boards. And he had projections of 17.1 points per game. We're looking at now a 9 cat per game rank of 106 for Miles. And his points in reality are 12.2 a game. As we know, he's a big man that can shoot some threes. So going into the season, projection was 2.3 a game. He's not that far off in reality. It's 2.2. Rebounds. We're looking for a lot of rebounds for Miles. 6.9 was the projection. 5.3 is the reality. Assists, dead even around 1.6. Steals, same, 0.7. So we're okay in those 2 categories. Blocks, he's one of the best blocking big men. He was touted to be 2.2 a game. He's only delivering around 1.5 a game. Field goal percentage, 49.8. Reality, 41.9. Free throw percentage, he's also like one of the better free throw shooting big men, 78.2. Reality, 75.7. Turnovers per game, 1.6. He's actually doing better there, 1.0. But, that's likely due to the downtick in usage, which was projected to be 20.9, and it's only 18.1. Also, minutes, 31.5. He's only averaging around 28.3. So I think in aggregate, you look at the loss of points, rebounds, especially blocks, a lower efficiency, and we're going from a projected rank of 30 to the reality rank of 106. I know a lot of people are asking, should I drop him? I think in points leagues, likely a drop. In shallower leagues, 10, 12s. But in category leagues, it's up to your individual situation. So next guy on the board that we should talk about, that I'd like to talk about, is Asar Thompson. He was touted to go similarly to Miles around the 30s. So he had a pre-draft rank of 35. Average of points is going to be 14.5. He's delivering 10.9, and he's also delivering, he's ranked right now 183. So from a projected rank of 35 to the reality rank of 183, that's a lot. That's a big gulf there. You'll see across the board all red numbers, meaning all the projection numbers are down, except for turnovers. But I think he's turning the ball over less because he has the ball less and he's playing less. So minutes, he was projected to play 30.5. He's down to 25.9. We've seen Bickerstaff kind of going away from him a little bit when he needs a little more offense happening in the game. The last game that Osar played, I think he was around 25 minutes and he was decent. So if he can stay around the 25, 27, 8 minute mark, like I think he's definitely worth a hold in 12, not 10s, but probably 12, 14 team leagues. But we really just don't know game to game what's going to be happening with Osar. So again, usage 20.0 projection, reality is 18.7. Free throw percentage, we weren't drafting Osar for his free throw ability. 69 was the projection. He's down to 55.6%. Field goal percentage 53.3. He's delivering 50.8. Blocks per game 1.1. He's delivering 0.8. Steals 2.0, delivering 1.5. So those defensive categories are a big draw with Osar at draft day, and both of those categories are much lower than we'd like to see. Assists 3.8, reality is 2.6, rebounds 6.7, reality is 5.8. Then 0.33s and 0.1 reality. We're not drafting for points and threes. So in the leagues where I drafted him, one of them is a hard punt 5 category, big man build, and Asar was like definitely a target of mine, and he's been disappointing. But it's a deeper league. It's 14 teams, so I am hanging on. But again, it's going to be situationally dependent for you whether or not Asar is worth holding on to. Let's see. Let's talk about one more guy. And we'll talk about, and I'm targeting players that haven't been impacted by injuries because I think injuries, it's a little bit unfair to look at like pre-draft versus reality. So these 3 players have all been pretty healthy throughout the season. The third player I'm looking at is Tamani Kamara. He going into the draft, he had his best year last year with the Blazers. He's their defensive kind of foundation. He shoots threes. So he's a 3 and D kind of guy, right? And we didn't see his role changing at all going into this season. They added Drew Holiday, which is a great team building piece for them. And we just didn't really think that a lot could change for Tumani. But midway through the season now, he was touted to be ranked 52, and the reality is 173. And, it's not based on minutes going down because he was projected to play 33 minutes. He's actually playing a little bit more than that, 33.7. His usage hasn't gone down a ton. He was projected to have 17.1. It's down to 16.4. You could probably say that like Denny, Shaden, bigger roles for them has impacted the usage a little bit. Turnovers, he's up. He was 1.3 projected. He's 2.0 average now. Free throw percentage, he's less efficient across the board. Free throw percentage was 73.1. It's down to 70.1. Field goal percentage, 46.3, down to 41.8. And I think there's a correlation there between field goal percentage and the amount of threes that he's taking, which is slightly higher. So he's projected to shoot 2.4 threes a game or make 2.4 threes a game. He's up to 2.5. Rebounds are lower, 5.8 projection. It's 5.0 in reality. He's passing the ball a little bit more. So 2.5 assists per game was his projection, and the reality is 2.6. So I think that's probably a little bit more ball handling is probably correlated to the uptick in turnovers. But all in all, these aren't numbers that you like to see with Tumani Kamara. And I think week to week, it's, do we need to drop, right? And in this case, the time of this recording, the Blazers are looking at a 2-game week, which is a back-to-back. Tumani plays back-to-back, so there's no issue there. But the 2-game week it is an issue. So if you're playing max games, you're strongly considering whether he's a drop. I think he's a drop definitely in 10 team category leagues. 12s, I'm holding on, but it's a bit of a short leash because we need to see these numbers going up for Tamani, especially with regard to the defensive numbers. So that will do this week's draft day disappointments episode. I hope this was helpful. I think it is helpful to look at the differences in projections versus reality when you're looking at players at the halfway season mark. So, good luck, everybody. And I hope the rest of your season goes great. You'll probably hear from me again. In the meantime, meow, meow. Be kind to your pets and bye.
Careful what you say because cats in chat.